Hello, friends. My name is Heather Gill, and I'm a certified life coach, certified hypnotherapist, author, and self-proclaimed practical optimist. Now, today we're going to talk about some ideas from my book called Reflections on Life and Living. It can be found on not only my website, but Amazon as well. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about 6 different topics as it pertains to being a practical optimist. The first one is breathe deeply and then let it go. The second one is the idea that sometimes we all can get a little lost, but the good news is we can always find our way home. Next, your family is not always the one you're born into. After that, do no harm, but if you do, try and make it right. 5 is sometimes a lesson is not yours to learn, and it could be for someone else. And 6, sometimes we have to make sacrifices and hard choices. When that happens, make them with grace. So let's start with breathing deeply. So how about if you do it with me? Take a nice deep breath in. Hold it for the count of 3 and release it. Again, take a nice deep breath in. Hold it for a count of 3, and then release it. Now, this exercise is helpful in so many ways. To name one, for people like me, I tend to hold my breath when I feel stressed or worried. So breathing in deeply and releasing it is something that always makes me feel better. And when you release it, this is the letting go part. When you release it, try and let go of some of the negativity that surrounds us all in the world today. You'll be better for it. And not only that, but when you breathe in and you hold your breath and then release it, it also buys you time to think about what to do next with a clear head. Next, sometimes we all get a little lost, but the good news is we can always find our way home. And I find that statement very comforting, because it seems to me that if you have one person that cares for you, you can never be truly lost. And the other idea is the same energy that connects us all keeps us from being too lost, because it never ends. That connection, that kinship with each other, even if it feels like it does, it doesn't ever end. Which brings me to my next thought. Hello, Roy. That wasn't my next thought. My next thought is your family isn't always related to you by blood. Sometimes it's the family you choose. For example, a group of friends who care very deeply for each other can love each other like family. Could even include your pets. Your pets could be a part of your family because you love them and they love you. And if we're all connected by the same energy, like attracts like, and that's why it seems to make sense that we could come to feel such caring and devotion to the people to the people surrounding us. It's like having a family or an extended family. Next, try not to do harm to any living thing. But if you do, try to make it right. If you approach a new situation and you don't know what to do, at least don't do harm. But that being said, human beings, being human beings, will make mistakes. When we hurt someone, the best thing to do is to apologize, making no excuses or denials, just saying, I'm really sorry, and meaning it can make all the difference in the world. On the other side of this coin, though, it can come down to, do you want to be right, or do you want to keep the relationship? Our purpose is to live out our personal destiny, to love one another, and to experience the gift of life that we've been given, to grow, evolve, and yes, make mistakes. On that same topic, a lesson isn't always yours to learn. Sometimes it's a part of someone else's learning. If you find yourself in the middle of a situation and it comes to you that the lesson isn't meant for you, don't intervene. Don't protect or rescue. Allow people to learn their lessons in their own ways. The universe and life teaches us what it wants us to know, and it's best not to stand in the way of someone else's learning opportunity. And lastly, for this section, in life, there are situations where we have to make hard choices and sacrifices, and the best way to handle it is with grace. We don't need to complain about the choice or sacrifice that we've made. We don't need to bring it to the attention of other people so that we can get credit for it. Because when we do that, the gift you've given through your sacrifice is diminished some. There's a little bit of tarnish on it, because then it becomes about you and not the person that you sacrificed for. There's another idea that I think we can all benefit from talking about, and that's the idea of hope. Especially in these uncertain and dark times, it's important to remember that just like a candle in the darkness, there's light leading us on to something better. As you know, I used to work with troubled children, and one day a man came up to me and asked me if there was hope for one of them. And I answered that there's always hope. You see, I'm a true believer in two things: love and hope. For me, they are the only things worth fighting for and dying for. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "The hardest thing for some of us to do is to get on the bus." And what he was referring to is an excerpt from The Great Divorce, which is one of his books. He was writing about a fictional line of souls waiting for a bus that would take them to heaven. Some people went right up to the bus, stepped right in, and boarded it and looked for their seats. while others stood there at the bus stop, enveloped by the torment of indecision. I can picture it in my head. And in fact, I think we see it every day. In the heads of these tormented people, there's doubt squirming like snakes through their hearts and souls. And they might wonder, will God forgive me? Could grace and redemption be extended to me? When you take a minute and think about it, the only thing holding them back from what they most desired was their own fear and lack of hope. What if there was someone there to ease their journey? What if that person stretched out their hand and said, "Follow me, it will be okay"? Would the tormented soul find the courage to grasp that hand and be led onto the bus? I'd like to think that some would, and I know that others would not. And I want to end with this thought. The key to redemption, grace, and love is to believe that you are lovable, worthy of grace, and worthy of redemption. As always, my friends, thank you for watching or listening. And throughout this week, find hope, find your candle in the darkness, and act on it. The thoughts from today come from my book, Reflections on Life and Living, and it can be found on Amazon or on my website at www.heathergilllifecoaching.com. As always, my dear friends, put your shoulders back, hold your head high, and walk forward today. And don't look back, because you're never, ever going that way. Look forward with bright eyes full of curiosity and joy and the thought of new lessons to learn and the idea of really living. Thank you again. My name is Heather Gill. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, certified life coach, author, and practical optimist. Take care, everyone. Until next time.